Hello, my darling Fumi Nation. Welcome to part 2 with the fabulous Aretha Bimbola. You guys do not forget to follow her on her socials. The links are below this video. Instagram, TikTok, as well as YouTube. And thank you for the love and support for my brand with the t-shirts. I am wearing eating my salads and minding my business. Aretha is wearing what is delayed is not denied. They are selling out of sizes. I will order more. And I have more for you as well. We're going to do more. And I'll do a separate video and we're going to talk about it. But thank you so very much on the success of this soft launch. We're almost sold out. Cannot believe it. All right, why are we here? Darling, Aretha, take the floor.
Right, okay. Today, we need to discuss Miss Erika. So, I have to say, when this all first came out, in my mind, based on how the narrative and the story was told, I was getting the impression that she was this small, little, put upon trad wife. The trad wife is the traditional wife in the historical sense.
I understand.
There's this narrative of the trad wife coming back. So, women stepping away from, I don't know, like maybe careers and stepping back into the roles of mother, wife, and caregiver. Mm-hmm. That's the impression I got of Erika based on the little bit of information that I had learned about Charlie. So I was under the impression that she was this meek, shy, retiring woman that was in the background whilst he was at the forefront.
Yeah.
And then things have changed slightly. I then obviously went down this deep black hole and started diving how they came to meet. And the fact that Erika and Donald Trump have known each other for years. They're fathers. So Erika's father is apparently a casino architect, okay? And he has had lots of dealings and hands in building Trump's casinos in the past. So we now get to begin to understand that this was not a chance meeting, apparently, that actually it almost feels as though she was strategically placed, because how they met was someone said to Charlie Kirk, you need this girl in your foundation. She's very good, yada, yada, yada. So she came in for an interview. This is allegedly. She came in for the interview. She sat down. Apparently someone said, oh, maybe they figured out what his type was and maybe she fit the mold of his type. So she went in, and during the interview, apparently, allegedly, she said, you're not going to be my new boss. You're going to be my boyfriend. So what does that say? I don't know what you make of that answer for me, but for me, that was pretty explosive. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Okay, I will say that it's quite interesting that Donald Trump knows Charlie Kirk's family. He knew the father, and that he also knows Erika's father. It's giving me the vibes of this old African tradition where you already know who you're going to marry as a kid.
Yes.
At the same time, I have watched and I've listened, and we also talked about it on the previous episode, about how Erika was behaving, which was not traditional in the sense that she's really come on strong, hair, makeup, just like me, hair, makeup, wardrobe, at a time when her husband was assassinated in such a horrific way. Mm-hmm. I want to humbly say that could all be coincidence. Let me tell you a quick story. When I was in California, I had a very high profile actor who said, Fumi, I think you're going to do well, but I want to tell you something. You're going to have a huge sacrifice. You will be hiding in plain sight. My mother passed away, and just as I was going on stage, somebody came to let me know that she had just died. I had no choice. I had to go onto stage and perform for 5 hours before I could get off and cry and mourn and bury my mother. I say that all to say, the greatest fear I have is when something goes wrong, something happens. I have to come back to work. What is work? This.
Yes.
Maybe, maybe, as odd as it looks, Erika has to go back to work to show that the company stands strong. Maybe she doesn't even want to be the CEO and head of Turning Point, but she has no choice because the business has to continue to go forward.
Mm.
Maybe she didn't want to come out and make this statement standing by Charlie's chair, but she doesn't necessarily have a choice. To flip on the other side, maybe she really doesn't want to do this and doesn't care, but she's not given a choice.
That's definitely a theory that's
If
worth exploring.
if her marriage was prepped, then the people that put all of this in play would say, we gave you everything, the diamonds, the beautiful house, the 2.3 children, whatever. We gave you this. Now you have to do this for us. I
Mm.
say all of this because I no longer trust what I'm seeing.
Yes. You know, to start with, it all seemed a bit far-fetched, but to me, there's certain things now that are just not tallying up with the message. I think one of the things we spoke about was originally some of the interviews they were doing was they were encouraging young girls to get married early, right?
Yes.
That was one
Yeah.
of the things they were doing. The reason to me, I'm just like, now there's a bit of disparity because Erica's 5 years his senior. You know, like, and listen, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I'm not suggesting there is at all. However, I just can't help but think if you are such a traditional value man,
Mm-hmm.
would you be going for a woman that's older than you? I don't know. And considering what you're encouraging other people to do, you're not practicing yourself. You see, the thing to me that it now suggests is, and this is now how I'm looking at it, and I could be wrong and I could be biased and maybe I have a very different lens, but I'm thinking this is now a well-seasoned woman who was not, it's not the meek and mild pageant queen that I originally thought of, that, you know, like the small country town girl that was deemed the blue-eyed, blonde-haired belle of the ball. That was like, oh, she came and she's beauty pageant. That's what I thought. That's not what we're getting. What we're getting here is a seasoned professional, unfortunately. It's now the impression I have. The way she's come on, because what I didn't understand in the beginning is, why is she doing this? Why was she so perfectly placed and primed to perfection to start with? I thought it was odd, but I didn't understand the incentive. I thought, what is she doing this for? Now, obviously, we've now recently watched this video with Nicholas, what's his name? Fuentes, is it?
Fuentes, yes.
Sorry, so Nick Fuentes now has a theory. Now, don't get me wrong, because I think Nick Fuentes also has his own agenda. He has raised some very interesting points, like the fact that, you know, when she came up ready, it almost is too perfect to slot into Charlie out, Erika in. I'm going to be your new president. Accept me. How can you not? I'm a widow. You would be heartless if you are to say no to this grieving widow. But what we haven't seen yet is any grieving, I'm sorry to say. And people say, oh, you can grieve in different ways. And I saw some people say in the comment, blacks grieve differently to what, you know, and I understand that. Some people are more stoic, whereas some people are more expressive. Completely understand that. But once again, I'm glad somebody else did a video. That Pearl, well, she's a bit of a pick-nisha, if you ask me. Pearl did a video and said, let's look at Jackie Onassis. Let's look at somebody grieving Tupac. 20 years later, you can see pain in their voice. Jackie O, like was also mentioned, you saw grieving, you saw pain. We have seen zero of that. I don't know what your thoughts are.
I think people grieve in different ways.
Okay.
I think that we don't see I think we don't see Erika at night with her 2 children.
Okay.
I think that she's lonely. I think that she's very, very, very scared.
Okay.
I think that she's going to have a different kind of life because I don't think she can even marry again. Will society allow her to?
She's so young. I would hope so. I mean, obviously, I know it's probably the furthest thing from her mind.
From her mind, but I'm just thinking further down. The film Cry in the Dark. It was a true story. It was actually a true story.
Oh.
And people expected her to grieve a certain way, and she did not. And she was sent to prison. She actually had, I think, her third or fourth child in prison. They put her in prison.
Oh, wow.
And it was actually many years later that it really was a dog that took her baby. She didn't kill her child. I say that because, does it look different with Erika? Yes. This is a completely different scenario, though. This is a different case. They've been in the public eye, and there are expectations that are to be met. I think for her, I don't know why, I just feel, and I might be wrong, that these would not necessarily be her choices, but she has no choice in this matter. My focus would be the two children. That I feel is paramount. Because I don't trust the way Charlie's life ended. I don't trust it. Something smells to high heaven. I cannot really, with certainty, really gather my thoughts around Erika. So I can only say she's grieving in her own way, and maybe she's trying to stay strong, and she will continue Charlie's mission because he was killed because of this mission. If you thought that by killing Charlie, that turning point will end, guess what? With blood, with sweat, with tears, I will step into his shoes. Of course, Nick Fuentes said, we knew Charlie, we did not know you. You're about to know me. If you thought that you knew Charlie, that's because you didn't know me. You see, every successful man, look at the woman behind. Look at the team. I say it every day. It takes a village for me to be here, dolled up and everything with a young son. And I do all of the editing, running around or whatever. It's only when you come to the meet and greet before you really understand, and I break it down for you. This takes a village.
Yes. You do say that.
It takes a village also for what Charlie created. And she must have been a traditional wife to an extent, to giving birth with your mothers who have had children, who have done the 10 months.
Yes.
And you have to come out here and still be on top of it. I think Erika is a super strong woman. And Erika, from the two of us, our deepest condolences, because it occurred to me that I didn't say it the other time. Because, sometimes you're so into it that, this is a woman, you understand me, who has lost her husband, no doubt.
Yes.
In the most horrific way.
Agreed.
And you feel as if you would know what to say, you would know what to do, almost like a horror movie. When you see all of them running into the house, you're like, no, don't run into the house. I can be so, but you're not thinking.
Yes.
And the other day, I got some very shocking news.
Okay.
And me, that I live for talking, do you know, I lost my voice. I couldn't even speak. I was that shocked. I just held myself like this. It was some personal news, and I was shocked. And I thought I would be prepared. I'll be ready. And I wasn't.
I think you're right. Unfortunately, you never know how you're going to respond in a true fight or flight situation. And I think you're absolutely right. I do want to send my deepest condolences, because for the first time I was watching a video, I have to say, funny enough, it was someone else's video, where I felt like he was humanized, and it was not just a salacious story, where they sent a picture of Charlie, Erika, and the two children. And for the first time I thought, oh my God, those poor children are growing up now without a father. So yes, thank you for kind of reminding us on that point, that this is still a person who's lost his life, and my deepest condolences. But I'm sorry, but once again, something smells fishy, and I know in the comments they may say you're out. But I'm just thinking it doesn't quite coincide with the narrative of somebody being scared. It doesn't coincide with the narrative of I just want to be a trad wife and I just want to, because with all the conspiracy theories going around, okay, first and foremost, like they rightly said now, she came out and said on the stage, and she did, I forgive him. It wasn't case closed yet. Well, how do you know that you're forgiving the right person?
Yeah.
Exactly. Who are you forgiving, and why are you so comfortable? And I'm thinking, who told you to say that? I don't know. It's given. Someone told you to say that his wife could forgive. Who are you, the general public, not to forgive? Yeah. That's what I'm feeling. Maybe the narrative was, but it didn't quite wash, and now you can see the internet is ablaze. Yes. That's one thing. Yes. And then I'm also thinking, how do you go from let's draw some parallels. Like a Jackie O, she was a fashion icon. She was fabulous. To me, yes, she was the quintessential trad wife. Now, yes, this is what Christian nationals preach. This is so against the preaching that, as a woman, you're going to take the front seat. I don't know, because I'm a working woman. So I'm not by any means saying that, but I'm saying what your beliefs stand for you now to be so ready, so polished to take over a company that's valued at 500 million. You're not scared. You sat with his other colleagues who have been on the podcast, who have sat at the front of the screen. Like you rightly mentioned, it takes a team. Yeah. Yes. And there are different types of people. There are people that like to be behind the scenes. There are people that like to be in front of the camera. If you were not, to me, primed and primed for this from a long time ago, Candace Owens, sorry to bring her into the mix again, quite rightly said it almost feels, she's beginning to wonder now, was Charlie's life like The Truman Show? Have you ever watched The Truman Show?
No.
Okay, I'm going to send you a quick trailer of The Truman Show. Long story short, it's a man who basically his whole life is orchestrated, but he doesn't know it. He doesn't know. So it's Jim Carrey is the actor in it. And basically imagine he's going to work, but everybody else is a cast member in a TV production. The only person that's not privy to the fact that he is in a show is Jim Carrey himself. So it's only when glitches and things start to go wrong that people start to say that he starts to question, hang on a minute, this is weird, what's going on here? And you see things like his wife almost trying to come back to normal. It's very interesting. I remember I watched it years ago, but Candace Owens said, I'm beginning to wonder, it was his whole life, The Truman Show. Because to me, what's bizarre is Candace Owens is going in like she was his wife. That's how I would be expecting. Actually, maybe not. If you're not that bolshy, but Erika's showing us she is bolshy. Candace, what was the video that we just saw where Candace said, I challenge you to tell me that he did not have a conversation, he being Charlie, did not have a conversation with some critical news 48 hours of him being assassinated. She challenged Turning Point directly. And Erika hasn't even come out and said, not once has she come out, and this is what I'm saying about why it's difficult to humanize her. Not once has she come out and said, guys, I understand everybody's got thoughts. I understand everyone's got, different opinions and suggestions of what could happen. But I want you to bear in mind, I've just lost my husband. My children have just lost their father.
Okay.
Not once has she said that.
And I agree. I just find it interesting that if you were so close to Charlie, wouldn't you have been close to his wife?
Who? Candace?
Yeah.
It's a good point. Because Candace said apparently he was trying to bring her back as well, didn't he?
Yes. Because Candace had said that Charlie had gone to the Hamptons. He was supposed to have a meeting there. And the conversation spilled out to where, we'll bring in the girls, which were their wives, and we'll hang out together. Okay, maybe they weren't close. I'm trying to understand the Candace Owens and Erika Kirk relationship. Does Erika support Candace doing this? And is Candace thinking of Erika while doing this?
Mm-hmm. Very good point. That's a very, very good point.
You can't separate the two. It is like you fighting for me. And then you're not thinking of Ula. Candace
Exactly.
should have met Erika. She would have met the children.
You know, this that's a very, very good point that you just raised. And you know what? I think now it does go to support the claim that maybe Erika is not acting of her own volition, because
or she has mouthpieces, or she's giving information to Candace. Candace, say this. Candace, do this. Candace, you know what? I can't say it. You go ahead.
That's an interesting theory. That is an interesting theory.
Because you and I are working together.
Yes.
You are Candace and I'm Charlie. I'm in my casket. You would never pick up the phone and say, Ula, I'm so sorry.
Exactly.
What can I do? I'm just saying, because Erika sat with the Turning Point team, and yet Candace said that she was coming on to Turning Point.
We wanted to bring her back. Yes.
We wanted to bring her back. And Erika was groomed not to be a triad wife. Why? There's no way, and we saw her, she would be able to do anything for Turning Point because she wouldn't have the qualifications. She couldn't be a head of a company if she didn't know how it was being run. She knew how it was being run. She was there for many podcasts. So do you think that she would not have had a say in Candace coming to Turning Point? That Candace and Erika would not have had a podcast Turning Point conversation that would not have gone through the roof? That nobody would not have sat down and said, we would watch this Erika and Candace on Turning Point.
Unless,
oh my God,
has become the somebody mentioned this. Candace is like a dog with a bone, and a dog with a bone, if you've seen it going, it is uncontrollable. You just have to leave that dog.
I hear you, but what I'm saying is that it's odd to me that Candace and Erika would not have had communication throughout this time behind the scenes, that some way, somehow, if Candace says that Charlie was such a good friend to her, or she's loyal to the bone, that Candace, being a mother of 4 children, would not think of his own 2 children. This is very, very much family affairs, and I want to see the bottom of it. But as I sit here, I just think to myself, having this podcast, having this talk with you, having you been to my home, having you seen Ula, having me seen Kenya, because what happens in situations such as this, the nature of our jobs is that our personal life does overlap into our public lives.
100%. 100%. But this is what I wanted to say, because the point you raised earlier on, is it now the case of, has Erika been instructed? Just a theory based on something you said earlier. Has Erika now been instructed to leave Candace alone? Because Candace is barking up so many trees.
100%. 100%. But I know that it would be weird. It would be very weird, very strange that they're not talking.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think that maybe behind the scenes they are talking?
A billion percent. I think that they went to each other's weddings. I think that they gave each other wedding presents. Because when Charlie and Candace were in the very beginning, Candace wasn't married.
Yes.
Candace didn't have children. If they were that close that they toured the United States together.
And we've seen footage of that. They were very, they were joking, singing, dancing.
There you go. She gave us. She gave us this.
Yes, you're right.
Give us this. Right. So I am saying to myself, you and I, Aretha, how we talk every day, multiple times a day.
It's true.
Multiple times a day, that anything would happen to me and you wouldn't be talking to Ula one time to say, how is Adrian? When you already know the kind of crazy week I've had with Adrian in hospital, sick and everything.
Exactly.
And Adrian was sick. We didn't talk about work. We talked about family.
Yes, exactly.
And they grew up together in this, and they got married, and they had children. That they didn't celebrate each other, that they didn't give off, baby showers or weddings or wedding invitations, or I couldn't be there, but da 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 da. I am just That I know, because I am married and I have a child and I am in social media. If I was a nurse, I would have said, okay, something different. But the thing is, no matter what happens, for me, this is your job. This is your job. You are going to come back to work. It's not that, oh my God, everything has blown to smithereens. This is what I do.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So that's why I'm giving Erika that grace. She was on the podcast many a time. They went on tour many a time. That's why I also kind of disagree. And I said it's fine to agree and disagree, where they said get married young, 18, well, not so much get married young, but get married, have a family. And there, because I watched parts of his tour, and there were young girls who were only 18, 20, and I just thought they should be able to experience life, they should travel, they should have an education, because nobody, especially Erika, could have foreseen her future. And to think that she would have to jump from traditional wife to CEO means that you take all opportunities in life. Don't put all of your eggs in one basket and think, I want to be married and just have children. You don't know what life will give you. The cards that are to be dealt. Now she's a working woman. Now she's a working mother, a working single mother of a multi-million-dollar enterprise. And there are stakes. They just did a GoFundMe for 6 million. They are almost there with 6.5 in the bag.
Yeah. And exactly, they're taking donations from Ben Shapiro. Apparently, it was struggling. Now I think it's going to skyrocket. And like you rightly said, who has got the most to gain? For me, anyway. I'm sorry, I can't exactly follow the money. Who's got the most to gain now from Charlie Kirk? And somebody was saying that we are now in the era of ushering up a religious, and that's fear. Next year, is it election time again? Is it election time? And I think based on the Epstein files, it was suggested maybe he won't be back in office. But after this, is it now the time for them to start saying, oh, we need to be more united now more than ever? I said in the last video, when you want to control a nation, one of the best things you can do is install fear. This has installed fear, and you can use that to bring everybody and say, guys, now's not the time to be divisive. We are one Christian nationalism. We have to get all our people together. Like I said, I said to you, I'd never heard of Charlie Kirk, never heard of Nicholas Fuchs. I didn't know who these people were.
I heard of Charlie Kirk because Fumi Nation brings a lot to me. That's how I found out about Nick Fuentes. Yes. And as far as I'm concerned, Nick Fuentes would love to have the following that Charlie had. And when Charlie passed away, it went directly to Candace Owens. I don't have a dog in this fight. The thing is, the biggest picture is that I truly feel, I really do, 56 years of my life, that I've been fed information that was only wanted me to have. Yes. I never got the full picture on anything on mainstream media. That's mine. And some way, somehow, it is attached to this case. Agreed. If it was George Floyd or whatever, something else, Black Lives Matter, where I felt this way, then I would have said, okay, there's something here. Because people get power because they get confident. Who gives them this confidence?
Exactly.
Because they've got information more than we have, and they also know they can get away with it.
Agreed. And you know, what was it Shakespeare said? Life is but a stage. And I feel like this situation is showing us that now more than ever. You know, some of us walk through thinking, oh, we want this. You know, we've also got to look at the lives we live, the car you drive, the place you live, the work you do. How much of it is down to free will, or how much is being told that we are being, you know, you have to look at advertising, you have to look at marketing. I will be the first to tell you, let you send me enough, you know, let me see enough things out there enough times. My daughter as well, she's the same. She watches enough adverts in between Peppa Pig, and she will come to me and tell me, these are the shoes I want, mummy. And we are all being marketed to like that. So what's to say, like you rightly said, the information that we are being given is the truth? And how do we know it's not just what they want us to see?
And that is why I'm like a dog with a bone.
Agreed. Sorry. Absolutely. You know, we have to be. We can't take anything for granted.
100%. Fumi Nation, drop it down in the comments. Let us know what you think. We will be back. And don't forget to follow Aretha on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube. Thank you for all of your love, for all of your support with the FDV brand. The links, all the links are down below. Do not forget to like, to subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. Thank you so very much. Do we live? Do we love? I absolutely live and love. I absolutely live and love.
Delicious.
Delicious. Bless you all.
Very much.